The Detroit Pistons are now in a must-win situation after dropping Game 5 to the Cleveland Cavaliers at home. Coming into today's matchup, the Cavaliers had not won a game on the road this postseason run. What worked out in their favor in round 1 against the Raptors, Game 7 was in Cleveland. They are a different beast at home. Their offensive rating is damn near double, and the same with their defensive rating. They're just a tough team. It is going to be hard as hell for the Pistons to battle in Cleveland, but I'm not fully counting this team out just yet. They are the same basketball team that came back from being down 3-1 against the Orlando Magic in the first round, even though these are two different basketball teams compared to the Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The offense with the Cavaliers is just better. Their defense in the backcourt definitely isn't in the same conversation, but the front court has shown some elite moments, especially against Jaylen Duren. But it's the way that the Pistons lost Game 5. This could easily impact the way that they come out in Game 6. And they changed the starting lineup here because they had to. No Duncan Robinson. He was dealing with a adductor injury. So we got to see Kevin Huerter for just a couple of minutes. 3 minutes in this game. JB Bickerstaff did not give him much action. He's missed the majority of this postseason run. Did not play much against the Orlando Magic in the first round. And he's missed the last 4 games in this series against the Cavaliers. And Duncan Robinson is so valuable. Even when he's not knocking down his threes, it's just a threat of him being on the court. So they went with Dennis Jenkins, Cade Cunningham. And that's the weird duo right there. Dennis Jenkins has been a very good basketball player, dating back to the regular season when Cade Cunningham went down with the collapsed lung injury. He was phenomenal during that stretch. When you play both of these guys alongside each other, it's just a weird pairing. But it was Cade Cunningham, Dennis Jenkins, Asur Thompson, Tobias Harris, and Jaylen Duren. In my opinion, they should have benched Jaylen Duren as well. He hasn't been good this series. Jaylen Duren has only had 2 good games this postseason run. Game 7 against the Orlando Magic, he had 15 points and 15 rebounds. That is still not the 20 and 10 that he was averaging in the regular season, but that's fine. Go out there and be productive. And he played very good defense in that matchup against the Magic. And Game 1 against the Cavaliers, he only had 11 points, but he had 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. He was clutch down the stretch in terms of rim protection. But since Game 1, Jaylen Duren has been up and down, and he's up for a max contract extension. Now, they did ride with Paul Reed for the fourth quarter and the same in overtime. They just benched Jaylen Duren. If someone would have told you this 3 months ago, you would have laughed at him. But that's where we're at right now with Jaylen Duren. He's a negative on the court. He can't guard Evan Mobley on the three-point line. He's getting bullied in the paint by Jarrett Allen. Now, in Game 3 and Game 4, he was at least showing more effort. He's just been terrible. A bunch of turnovers, not focused on the offensive end. And I'm starting to believe what he did in the regular season was a fluke. He doesn't have the skills like Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. And the same with other big men. We're talking about a player here that will play 29 minutes for you and only get 4 rebounds in a playoff game. He played 25 minutes. He had 5 rebounds. Paul Reed comes in off the bench. He just wants it more. And he's just a better player right now. He played in 17 minutes. He had 8 rebounds and 10 points. And I view big men differently than others. You don't have to go out there and put up 25 and 30 points. That'll be nice. That's great to do. But he's not coming down with the crucial rebounds on the offensive end. He's not playing great defense. And he's getting in foul trouble. Going back to Game 4, he was dealing with foul trouble going into halftime. They sub him in the game. Immediately, a legal screen. That's a turnover and a foul. You're giving the Cleveland Cavaliers another possession. So they made the right decision by benching him for majority of the second half, but you shouldn't have started him in this game to begin with. I know that JB Bickerstaff wants to ride with his guys that did him right in the regular season, but there is no tomorrow if you lose the next game in Cleveland. And the same with this game. This was a must-win game for the Pistons. You win this game, then you go on the road against Cleveland, you win that matchup, you're on to the Eastern Conference Finals against the New York Knicks. And the Pistons have been battling back, going back to Game 3 and Game 4 in the second half. I just did not agree with the decision to go out there and to start Jaylen Duren. We have seen enough. And when it comes to the max contract extension, either they go out there and they trade him or they just let him walk. Reality, you want to get some picks for Jaylen Duren or some better players that can help you out. In the regular season, quality player. He's only had one amazing season in his career up to this point, and that was this season. But he's been fully exposed this postseason run. I get having a bad game or two in the playoffs. It's going to happen. I don't expect for players to be perfect every single night and for them to be perfect in every single playoff game. We're going to talk about that when we talk about Cade Cunningham here. But he's only had 2 really okay games. If you're a Jaylen Duren doubter, I'm being nicer by saying that he had a very impactful game in game 1 against the Cavaliers. Because of the fact that he was so dominant down the stretch on the defensive end. But you take away the game 1, you take away the game 7 against the Magic, he's been one of the worst postseason players this run. But that was the starting lineup. They go into halftime, they have the lead 60-52. Similar to what happened last game. In game 4, they had the lead going into halftime, 56-52. But in the third quarter, they got bullied in game 4. It was a 24-0 run by the Cavaliers to start the third quarter in game 4. Now, the third quarter this time around wasn't as bad, but you got outscored 32-20. That's terrible still. And that came back to hurt you in the fourth quarter. It was so many wide open threes with Matt Screws. And the same with Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell wasn't that effective in the first half. But boy, he was effective late in the fourth quarter and the same in overtime. It was a James Harden game. James Harden got the Pistons once again. Broke down this defense. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 3 of 10 from the three-point line. And he had 14 free throw attempts, 11 free throws made, 6 turnovers. 1 free throw late in the game, he missed on purpose. He came down with the rebound. I'm telling you, the front court with this Pistons team will piss you off at times if you are a Pistons fan. Then you have Donovan Mitchell. Inefficient by his standards. Donovan Mitchell, 7 of 18, 1 of 8 from 3. That 1 3 came late in the game. And when he hit the 3, you have Matt Screws. He comes up, he presses up Cade Cunningham. It goes for a turnover. He gets the ball back to Donovan Mitchell. That's a 5-point swing. That just can't happen. But he ended the day with 21 points. Jared Allen, 16 points, 10 rebounds. Evan Mobley was great defensively in this game. He did have 4 turnovers, but he had 3 blocks, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 19 points, and he hit a clutch 3. And the Pistons were up late in the fourth quarter. They were up 103-98 with 1 minute and 34 seconds left. Not a huge lead, but championship teams find a way to win with that type of lead. We see it every single year. The OKC Thunder would have won and closed out this game with this lead. The same with other teams in the past that have won championships. The Pistons, they're not there just yet. Part of it can be coaching. The other part of it is the personnel around Cade Cunningham. And Cade Cunningham, he balled out. 39 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 13 of 27 from the field, 6 of 10 from 3. And he got to the free throw line. He had 8 free throw attempts. And with Cade Cunningham, this was a great bounce back game. Because last game he had 19 points, 7 of 16 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. That was the lowest point total that he's had in the postseason in his career. That's not the Cade Cunningham that we know. So this was a very good game offensively. He still has 6 turnovers. And this is the thing here with Cade Cunningham and his turnovers. I'm not going to jump on him as much as other people might. He's the only playmaker that they have. Majority of the turnovers that he has, especially against the Magic and against the Cavaliers, he's trying to play make for his teammates, where this pick and roll with Jaylen Duren. It was 3 turnovers 2 games ago that were not on Cade Cunningham. Jaylen Duren was not in the right spot. Now, he does have some careless turnovers to where he's lazy with the basketball or he's gassed out, he's tired, but he's the main engine to this team, offensively and defensively. He's the one player in the NBA, when you look at his usage rate this season, they expect for Cade Cunningham to do everything, be the playmaker, be the leading scorer, and also play strong defense, and he's done that. So some of the turnovers, unacceptable. But at the same time here with Cade, he's doing everything for this team. And he's out-rebounding your center and Jaylen Duren. He's playing strong defense on Donovan Mitchell, the same with James Harden. And offensively, they are challenged, especially without Duncan Robinson not being on the court. Dennis Jenkins, who has had some big-time moments against the Orlando Magic, And the same with the Cavaliers. He was up and down in this game. He had 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He's not a playmaker. 8 of 17 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. And he did have 1 steal. Ausar Thompson, great defensive play on Donovan Mitchell to close out regulation late in the fourth quarter. But he's offensively challenged. He can bring the ball up the court. He doesn't have a jump shot. He's not as athletically gifted on the offensive end like his brother Mad Thompson for the Houston Rockets. You hope one day that he can become that player. But you're not expecting for Ausar Thompson to go out there and get 20 points in the game. It's not going to happen right now. 6 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. And he had 4 steals. And there was a foul in this game that they did not call. When he got the steal on Donovan Mitchell, there was still time remaining on the clock. It was 2.3 seconds, I believe. He gets tripped up by Jared Allen. Tony Brothers, who was becoming one of the worst referees in the NBA, he didn't see anything. And he said, play on, we are on to overtime. This is the second game. Now, this is just me. Maybe you guys think different in the comment section below. The referees have been terrible in this series against both teams here. It's just not one-sided. With the Cavaliers, it's a lot of fouls that should be called. With the Pistons, it's a lot of fouls that should be called as well. Now, if you're an old school fan, I get it. You believe in going out there and being rough and being aggressive. But he blatantly tripped the man. No call. Earlier in this game, Cade Cunningham, he goes to the rim. He gets body checked by Evan Mobley. No call. James Harden step back 3 with Tobias Harris. Bang, bang play. But we've seen them call that a foul before in the past. The consistency is not adding up in this series, and it's not adding up with other series either in the playoffs. The referees are making it by themselves, and this is not a video to say, well, the referees cost the Pistons. Maybe you feel that way. I don't feel that way. When your team went stagnant on the offensive end for 9 straight possessions, that won't help you. But the referees definitely didn't help. Tobias Harris, who has been a very good number 2 option alongside Cade Cunningham, in the last 2 games, he has not been efficient on the offensive end. Tobias Harris has still had some solid defensive moments. Some of the shots that Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are making is just one-on-one. They're just some of the only players in the NBA that are going to make those shots in terms of step backs. It's just tough as hell to guard that. But Tobias Harris, in game 4, 16 points, 6 of 17 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. He did have 8 rebounds, 5 assists. 0 turnovers, but you want him to be in that 20 to 25 point range. The game before he had 21 points. In game 5 against the Cavaliers, 40 minutes, 13 points, 6 of 19 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. That's disgusting. That's how he looked at the Philadelphia 76ers. You want him to perform better. You have to find that extra sidekick around Cade Cunningham. If those guys can't step up, this series is over. Then you have Karis LeVert, who is inconsistent as hell. One game, Karis LeVert may give you 30. The next game, he may only give you 6 points. For example, against the Cavaliers, in game 4, he had 24 points, 10 of 16 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. In today's game, in 24 minutes, 7 points, 2 of 7 from the field, 0 for 3 from the three-point line, only had 3 free throw attempts. The 2 games before, game 4, he had 8 points. In the game before that, he had 6 points. That's just Karis LeVert. He's an inconsistent player. So they need Duncan Robinson, if he can play with this adductor injury, to go out there and to play. Maybe they should have played Kevin Huerter more. Kevin Huerter has been a very good three-point shooter in his career. Maybe the lineups don't make sense at times. I'll give you that with JB Bickerstaff. But it's a tough situation right now for the Detroit Pistons. Isaiah Stewart only played 11 minutes, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. I'd rather have him out there over Jaylen Duren. But going into game 6, if Duncan Robinson can't play, they'll start Dennis again. They'll go with Cade Cunningham, Tobias Harris. That's cool. You can't start Jaylen Duren. I don't care how he feels about it. I don't care if he checks out of the game, because the way that he's playing right now, he's essentially checked himself out of the game. And Matt Screw's having 20 points off the bench, 6 of 8 from 3. That's what really crushed this team. And the same with Sam Merrill. He only had 6 points, but it was a tough 6 points. He was 2 of 5 from the three-point line. The Cavaliers played more as a team, and they got big-time production out of their six-man and max screws defensively and offensively. The Pistons, they just didn't get that. They still had very good defensive moments, but they weren't able to come together the way the Cavaliers were. And early on in this series, when they won the first two games, J.B. Bickerstaff was out coaching Kenny Atkinson. That's no longer the case. It's up to the players to knock down their three-point shots and to get to the free throw line and just execute the plays. But when you have a center who's been a negative on the court for pretty much every single game in this series, something has to change. There was no such thing as a plus in the game with Jaylen Duren today. It's only minus. He was a minus 16. That was a Detroit worse. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the Detroit Pistons. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys to stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.